I'm attorney Brian Tierney. This is Breaking Bread with Brian. You gotta enjoy the finer things in life. That's why I'm here today at this lovely restaurant with these lovely guys. We're here today at the Erie Cafe in Chicago's River North neighborhood in the 60654. I have not been here yet. We just got some calamari. This is my first time here, so that's delicious. And I'm going to ask Tammy in a little while why she chose this restaurant, and she'll tell us what she's going to have today. As always, the man behind the camera is Renee Costa from Full Bars Media. If you want to take your marketing to the next level, you need to talk to Renee Costa from Full Bars Media. I'm here today with Cheyenne and Tammy, both of the Federal Savings Bank. It's Mother's Day. This is the Mother's Day episode coming up that we're filming for. So I'm very excited to have you guys with us here today. How are you?
The mama bear and baby bear.
So, super glad to be here. Enjoying the finer things, ready for Mother's Day. We'll be talking about that too. Mm-hmm. Tammy, tell us why you chose this restaurant.
So Erie Cafe is one of my ultimate favorite Chicago hotspots. Very much a Cheers type of feeling to it. Fourth generation restaurateurs, and it is Larry Lindsay, I just didn't want to mispronounce his name, is who I got, the approval today to sit here and have lunch and share Breaking Bread with Brian. But so Ron and Geraldine opened this up 25 years ago, I think now.
Good for them.
Now, September 1994, so 25 years ago. And what's been instrumental in their growth is actually the park that's across the street on the south side and the terrace that is on the west side of the restaurant, where 15 years ago, Mayor Daley saw the kind of gentrification going on in the neighborhood and allowed them to open both up. And with the development of River North, this restaurant's seen massive growth. It's been fantastic watching that. So that was one of the reasons you want to support local business and family business. We're in business together as well, hence Mother's Day edition. And so we wanted to pick a location that represented exactly that, the family unit, because, without, in community is unity, right? So, and vice versa.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, the owners, for having us here to break bread. Mm-hmm. Always nice to be in these lovely establishments. Look forward to trying the food. I knew this place was for me as soon as I walked in. Mm-hmm. So I got in here, we were getting settled in, setting up all the equipment. And I had to go back to use the washroom. So what I like about this place is it's a kind of a limelight atmosphere. Mm-hmm. It's kind of old school, which I like because I'm a very old school guy,
That's right.
That's the way I was raised. So I'm walking back to the bathroom. They got some kind of disco or something turned a little bit low. I feel like I'm in Goodfellas or like the Casino movie or something.
That's right. A little Godfather-ish, right?
Yeah, that's the feel they had. And you know what? It's not easy to recreate. I mean, when it's genuine, and that's what they have here. Like they're not putting on any false pretenses or anything. Like
No.
You get what you see and like enjoy the Chicago nature of this establishment. So,
and it's family owned, so fourth generation. One of the coolest things about it is many of us know Gene and Georgetti's, which was family as well. Mm-hmm. The previous generation, that's in a little, east on the River North side. And then one of the brothers has EJ's up in Skokie. And so 3 full active restaurants now for decades. And it's really nice when you have that Italian-American steakhouse where the steak is actually the star and then the Italian dishes are like the supporting roles.
One thing I noticed is that you took notes to say all those lovely things, mm-hmm. all these facts about the restaurant and the ownership. You didn't even look at those. Like you wrote them down once and then you launched right back into saying them. So do you have like a photographic memory or something?
Oh, very nice of you. No, but it does reinforce that the more senses you use, mm-hmm. when you write things down, when you say them, when you actually feel them, right? The more senses you use, the more it commits it to memory. So I had gone over some notes earlier today, and I know sending them to both of you, and then also just writing them down. And you just want to make sure you honor people the right way, right? Just like you prepared for this, we wanted to prepare as well.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing about this is usually I'm just keeping it flowing as a natural conversation, but I'm always trying to stay like one step ahead and think about like what I'm going to ask for. some of these podcasters out there doing it, they say they don't have to search for the next question. They're naturally curious. I tend to feel that way myself, but I did have some notes because, like you said, research, right? So I went through your social media and I found things that I thought were interesting about you, things I thought I would highlight for the viewers. So, and I tend to agree with you, right? Like you're in this setting, you kind of have it all. Like I visualize things ahead of time, so I knew this place would be really cool. I don't know if you remember. I remember the first time I met you. Do you remember the first time you met me? It was probably about a year and a half ago. Do you remember that?
Believe it was in Oak Park.
Yes, you
at
are
a closing.
Correct.
And I actually remember that closing itself. It was the client had twins, if I'm not mistaken. And
correct,
yes, I absolutely remember, because remarkable people leave an impression that you remember.
Well, thank you. I didn't know how remarkable I was that morning. If I remember correctly, I wasn't fully shaven and I hadn't had my coffee or something. I don't know. I might not have been the most charming individual at that time. But I kind of bring it up. And first of all, I'm glad you remember, because I was like, it was just kind of like a laid-back closing, so it didn't have any like memorable moments where people are laughing or something crazy happens where you're kind of like, that one always sticks with you. But one thing I remember is, while your clients were signing their loan documents, you went into nurture mode like right away, and you were actually like taking care of their kids, like I think feeding them like with their bottle.
She does that all the time. She like gets aggressive with everybody else's children, and she doesn't even ask to take them. She just takes them and then says, "Oh, can I hold your kid?"
Yeah,
it's great.
Well, I think they were all about it, because it made like everything started to blend in like a calm breeze, like they mixed in with the walls, right?
She becomes family.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Tammy was in full nurture mode. She's holding her babies, and meanwhile, parents are talking with me about taxes or what it means. Are they going up? How do I apply for my homeowner exemption? We're talking about whatever with this paperwork, and it just went by real smoothly. And before you know it was all over.
It did. Yep.
The funny thing is, attorneys are known for stealing pens, and I think I took this one from the very closing.
Look at
very
that
nice pen. Baird and Warner got very nice pens at their brokerage. I've been known to lift one from time to time. Hate to admit it. Keep your pens locked up when I'm done. I got sticky fingers. But yeah, this is actually, and I didn't even realize that, because like, once I steal them, I keep them in my arsenal for quite a long time.
I think they're meant to be stolen, though, right? That's why we put our information on it.
Yes.
Is because we're hopeful you do take it.
Well, people do. And I need to put my information on there. In fact, what I might do is start going in, swapping out all the pens, putting mine in there.
That would be so smart.
Like, what the hell is this? I thought there was Baird and Warner pens in here. But yeah, no, I didn't plan it at all, because like I said, once I take them, I keep them for quite a while. So I have a bunch in my bag, and this was just one of them, but I liked it. Like, it was such a good quality. I'm like, I'm busting this out. We're at this fine Italian restaurant for some fine Italian cuisine, and I'm going to have my fine pen with me here. So, super awesome. Tell us a little bit, how did you get into lending?
I'll let Cheyenne start on this one.
So I got into lending, rather financing, because I grew up, and obviously my mom has been doing it for, I don't even know, how many years have you been doing it for?
15.
So for 15 years now. And when I was younger, I would always basically look at her, and what I saw was that what she did for a living was basically making friends and going to parties. And I was like, oh, wow. So whenever, I grew up enough and I was like, I actually want to be best friends with my mom. Then I was like, well, why am I resisting it? I can make friends. I love going to parties, so I'm pretty sure I could do it too. And obviously a lot of it's like the product knowledge, like actually, maintaining and knowing your stuff. But I already got that down pat, and then the rest of it just came naturally because of you. So I figured, why not?
Well, you get the photographic memory
sweet.
from mom. You can learn in business. It's just like...
I've actually been working on having a photographic memory lately, and I was going to tell you that. Okay. So I've been trying to train myself, and I've actually started to make like pretty good strides. It's really cool.
That is really cool.
I know. I don't know how. One day
Why
it just
is that?
happened. I just figured, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good question, isn't it? Why
Well,
not?
yeah.
When people ask why, and you go, why not?
Why not?
Why not? And
I
it's
love
a good,
that.
Yeah.
worthy goal.
Yeah.
But I think you might have oversimplified what your mom does just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's essentially
This
what we
game
do.
is crazy.
In layman's terms.
I will say, so just, I've been in the finance industry now, mortgage financing, home financing for 15 years, and Cheyenne for 3.5 years?
Just over 3.5.
Yep. So almost 4 years. And it's a beautiful thing when you get to really make what seems like a complex topic make sense. And that's what's kept me so passionate about staying on the mortgage front, staying ahead of it. And even now that we're working into more of a tech savvy type of age with information, it's still having that information make sense. And how does it apply to people's lives? Money is a big deal, as we all know, right? And it typically is considered a taboo topic. But when people feel educated and then empowered, they make a great decision, and then we're here to execute on that financing decision for them.
Not only execute, but as well as kind of lead them to the correct path that they should be going down. We give them all the knowledge. We, in the end, it's always their decision, but we're the supporting factor, which allows them to actually make a solid and sound choice. So it's fun.
It is fun. So to Cheyenne's point earlier, I think what's interesting is that, and I don't want to call it just sales, it's relationship. It's all relationship building. And when you're in a relationship business, just like you do business with who you trust. And that's what it really, I think, surrounds is the client. And the client may be a consumer, a home buyer that's looking to purchase, or the client may be a referral source that'd like to understand how they can add to their client, their consumer knowledge as well. And that's really what we pride ourselves in. So if you do business with who you trust and therefore you like, you have a tendency to go have a lot of fun with them. And I think that's what Cheyenne saw, and she heard conversations, constant conversations where I think at times, and Cheyenne probably could admit to this, I would remember more about their family and the events that transpired in their family.
It's so funny. It was so funny. My goodness. They would always ask her, hey, so, I think this happened. She would sprout out some knowledge, like, oh, yeah, they were born this X, Y, and Z, or, yeah, this person has, 4 kids. And I'm like, Mom, I don't know,
what's my blood type?
Yeah. And she still doesn't
remember.
know. Still doesn't know. But I don't know.
But so you make a connection, you feel entrusted with that person having your best interest in mind, and that's how the business was built. And so there's very few businesses now that you can feel as though you can pass on to your family. And that is one of the most heartfelt, I think, parts of this process is I know I'm going to build a business, I'm going to build a book of clients that I've helped year over year, help their family. I've, a couple last conversations I've had, I have either the last sibling, right, that's financing a home, or the last family member. And I have helped generations of family members. And so to be able to take that business and pass it down to my daughter and my family, it's part of the legacy. And there's nothing better than someone building memories in their home and you making that financial process understandable, comfortable, and then it's something that doesn't suppress them. It actually raises them up. And that's the best part about this business, and then building it with your daughter.
And I've worked with you before, with closed transactions before, and I appreciate the professionalism, the the positivity that you bring into the transaction. These are doing this stuff is not as easy as people think. There's a lot involved, a lot of detail work. Yeah. Good teams get good results, right?
That's right.
When you're confident and we're all doing our part, it gets the best results for the client. And at the end of the day, they're the happiest. It's like one negative person or negative link in that chain can set a negative vibe in the transaction, which you don't want. Always trying to reel it back into positive land.
That's right.
And then you mentioned mom being out at all these nice places, right? So one of the benefits about our industry is all these lovely events, right? We got charity events on the rooftop of the Ritz-Carlton. We're out at the Godfrey, places with the, what's a place where the roof opens up?
Benchmark.
Federales?
Fremont.
Oh, Fremont's fun.
Federales is a good time to go, too. It's one of the three.
I would never be on the top of the Ritz-Carlton at a rooftop bar if it wasn't for a charity event, right? I've never been there. You know what I mean? I grew up by Mid Airport. We go to the local neighborhood bar and drink domestics or something like that.
We're blessed to get to be able to do this stuff. It's awesome because our industry, it's hand in hand, right?
Yeah, it's funny because as a younger person, I probably got kicked out of there. But you know, like nowadays, I'm super professional. You know, I actually get to enjoy it and whatever. But it's so cool. Like it's like kind of like heavenly, right? Like you get up to the top of the Ritz-Carlton, and like everybody you know is surrounding you, and you're having a good time talking to them. Like, how cool is that? You know,
It's basically like going to a reunion every couple months, right? Because once you go to every single one of these events, you start getting to know every single person, and then it's basically like just catching up with friends, making sure everybody's having a good time, and you yourself are having a great time.
Well, and then seeing each other at these events also kind of helps to keep each other accountable too, right?
Of course.
You're like, shit, I know I'm
Like,
gonna
you
see
never called me
so-and-so tonight.
back.
Yeah.
Like, what
And then it's
happened?
Like, it's
Well,
all good.
hey.
Let me give you that update real quick. Let me give you the
I've
status.
been expecting this. Like, come on. So,
But
yeah.
sometimes I'll be like, be parking that car or something, right? You know? And I'm getting out, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to see so-and-so tonight. Let me look this up in my emails real quick.
Yeah,
you know?
see?
Okay, yeah, I got you. So what's going on with that thing on the sale? I'm like, oh, actually, blah, blah, blah. And then I hit him with that knowledge. It's like, oh, thank you, technology, for helping me out. Helping me look like a rock star. And speaking of which, I noticed that you do a Lunch and Learn series on Facebook. How long have you been doing that?
So actually, the Facebook Live, I've been doing Lunch and
Facebook
Learns.
Live,
yeah, I've been doing Lunch and Learns now for almost 3 years, and I do them on the third Tuesday every month at my bank, various topics every month, different month. But then I circulate the same topic throughout Chicagoland area in different offices. But what I ended up doing this past time is I recognize that information is power. It's part of my passion project is actually educating more consumers on what the process of purchasing a home is and the intricacies of them. So this last time I was highlighting, I think, items that are financing products that give more homeowners an opportunity to purchase. And because of that, I said, well, this seems to be a topic I think consumers would like. So I just pulled up the laptop, placed it on a chair, and started running Facebook Live. And I have gotten amazing feedback from it. And all of it is, again, going back to money being a taboo topic, we want to unveil that. We want to take that nervousness away as much as possible so we can place more information, kind of replace the nervousness with information so people feel really empowered by it.
And it seemed really cool on the last one you did. I watched the whole thing, and then I watched the actual video footage just to see that, like how you were doing it and everything, just in the first few minutes. Then I was kind of like sweeping up around the house or something, and I had it, I had it on my like Bluetooth speaker or something. But I learned new things too, and it seemed like a cool way to kind of like make a connection with the people, because it was kind of like an intimate atmosphere, right? Like you're up in front, probably not a huge room. Everybody's sitting down, making that bond with the folks that are there, and then giving them information. And like, I love those things too, because as a professional, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, those are the jumbo loan limits on like conventional or FHA, and then I know like,
Yes.
okay, you're gonna qualify for this or that or that. You know what I mean? I was learning those things. That makes me a better attorney. It makes me a better advocate, and it also makes me be able to interact with my colleagues better too. So, do you choose? I know you said you circulate some of the same topics. Do you repeat them every so often as a little refresher, or are you always coming up with new stuff, or how are you doing it?
That's a great question. Sometimes I think we just all pay attention, right? Pay attention to what the conversation is surrounding, maybe looking at the marketplace and reinserting what may be a good conversation to have again and go into deeper, kind of deeper dive. So this, typically every year there's a business planning of some sort. And then from there, like this coming month, I'm doing what actually happens in a pre-approval appointment. What is a pre-approval appointment? What is the professional reviewing with the consumer in the consultation? And that's my next Lunch and Learn, right? So
And that's for realtors and clients?
That's for realtors and clients. And so what's nice about that, and again, I'll probably air that one Facebook Live.
Please do so, yeah.
What's really cool about that is, I think, again, there's just this natural anxiety. The majority of our business is first-time home buyers. And the anxiety coming from the financing aspect is because it's a topic they've never really gotten any exposure on. So all we're trying to do is alleviate that tension, that unknown factor, so they accept the information a little bit easier. They can absorb it. So we make it more familiar. And that's why I go over that particular topic typically once a year.
Well, yeah, because you don't want people to be like sweating like, oh man, I'm trying to buy a home and I gotta go through this pre-approval thing. I guess I'll just get it over with.
Yeah.
You want them to be like, nice, I'm calm, I'm
Yeah.
ready for the pre-approval appointment. ready with that knowledge. And if they can't make it to one right away, they can see what's involved.
That's right. It's
at the
recorded.
next Facebook Live.
Right?
Good stuff.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that.
Good
cheers.
stuff.
Cheers.
Cheers
to
to being
Brian.
a
Cheers.
good professional.
What advice do you guys have for people that are getting into the industry? What would be a good pointer? One thing that maybe is an overarching theme for you guys, or just something that you recommend to somebody coming in?
I think Cheyenne should answer this one first, so maybe I come back in from if I were a younger version of myself.
So I would say that a solid key of advice would be to just learn everything that you possibly can. The more that you learn, the more that you know, the more you're able to actually help those who aren't in the know. There are some professionals out there that may not know some things that you can kind of school them on and therefore win business over them. As well as I think that one of the key factors on why I'm so successful is not only because of my mom and kind of what she is in my life, as well as by being on such a strong team. My team lead, he taught me a whole bunch of stuff. He taught me how to navigate business, how to grow your business, and really it's just having even just one person that can kind of guide you through the forest.
So a good mentor, somebody you can know and trust and count on.
Exactly.
So there's a few things I think are key is think about what you appreciate. What do you appreciate when you're learning? How do adults learn different than maybe when you're in a traditional kind of school setting? And then take that perspective and build out your process surrounding that. I would definitely approach this as being a business. Sometimes I see this being more, it's just something you tripped over. And candidly, I was introduced to the mortgage business, not that it was planned. I have an accounting finance background, and this was not where I thought I would end up being, but it was the best mix of what I was interested in, which was the numbers, and what I truly enjoyed and felt passionate about, which was people. And so I think if you can take a consumer perspective, just what you appreciate, and then build process around that, collaborate with other top producers, what's worked well for them, and just be vulnerable enough to know that you're never going to be the top without knowing that you have to learn along the way.
Yep.
And find coaches and mentors that you align with.
Yep.
That's the best advice I can give is ask questions, right? Going back to the beginning of our meeting is when someone asks why, and you may ask, why not? You don't have to stay in the box. So really considering yourself a professional that's ahead of the curve and how you can continue to remain that way.
And I guess to kind of piggyback on that just a little bit, not just find a mentor that can really set you due north, as well as know who you want to surround yourself by. Make sure you surround yourself with those people, because our business is all about gratitude and attitude, right? You're not going to get anything if you don't show thanks. And if your attitude isn't there, like on point all the time, life happens. But you got to work around it, because that's the only way you're going to grow and actually get where you want to be.
So much pressure, because life does
So,
happen.
yeah, it happens all the time. We can't control it sometimes, you know?
I love how you said due north.
Yeah.
Military in the family, or that
I
seems like a
think
total.
it was from the I don't remember.
There is military in the family.
There is military in the family, but I don't remember where I got that from.
Army man, Cheyenne's stepdad, Army man, 10 years.
Yeah.
So there is due north, definitely.
I was wondering where that
commentary.
came from. Yeah.
I don't know where it got. I think I've been saying that for a while though.
It sounds
So here, I have a question for you, Brian.
It was the Underground Railroad.
So I'm going to ask both of you, Brian and Cheyenne, at the same time.
Yes.
As soon as Cheyenne puts down her glass of wine. I would like each of you, you're going to both look at me, I'd like each of you to point north.
Okay, wait, hold on. Well, you did no.
That's why you're supposed. Typically, what's interesting is women will do this, and men actually will point in the correct direction.
Yeah, north is always that way.
North is always this way, you see?
Because you're the center, right? So
I just fell into
watermelon.
the stereotypical male hole.
No. That was perfect. I love it. The reason why I say that is that whole exercise.
I know where I'm going.
No.
I'll get the woods.
That whole exercise is just knowing the differences in people, right? And knowing the main personalities, like you ask, how we do business and what really makes it, and it's just understanding people. Really, I think the difference is not just grit and working hard and building process, but then how you identify with people.
Well, you do a good job of both, and I know you guys have the grit too, because before you got here, you should have heard Cheyenne on the phone. It was like right now we're all laid back, we're breaking bread, we got, we're having our drinks and our lovely meal we'll be having soon. And she's all business, like, I'm just checking in about this, please make sure this gets done. And he just fires it off, turns it on and off like a light switch, you know what I mean? Wait till that phone comes out later and you see like, so-and-so was messaging me. Oh yeah? An hour went by before I responded to you? Well, watch this. Machine gun on the
jump on
keyboard.
top of it.
But good stuff. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Well, what is like one unique thing about each of you guys that people might not necessarily know? And you can take a moment to think about that.
So that's a caption of my Facebook background.
Yes, it is.
Is be yourself, everyone else is taken. And the reason why I chose that, I think as a young woman professional coming into an industry, I was trying to mirror more than I was looking in the mirror. And the magic actually started to happen when I recognized my own strengths and what I was most grateful for and what I wanted to see more of. And those were my qualities. And sure, I could look to other people and, speak with them as mentors and coaches on how to be the better version of me. But that's why I chose that as my background, is more of a friendly reminder, at least to myself, that I just want to be the best version of me. And
be the rock star you are.
That's right,
Like, learn that you are, be confident, look in the mirror, and then just go out and do it. And show everybody up when you showing out at the Ritz-Carlton or whatever event it is. Rocco, when are we doing the next charity event at the Ritz rooftop?
Yeah, so kind of to Mom's point, where she, obviously you knew that anytime you mirror somebody else, you're not really looking at yourself, right? So I do something, and a lot of my close friends and close colleagues know that I do this. I take myself on Cheyenne dates, where obviously, in this business, we have to have our phones on us at all times just in case something happens with a family, a file, what have you, right? But I may keep my phone on me, but I don't answer any personal calls. I typically go on like a long walk. I may take myself shopping. I go to like a cute movie, and then I bring a book to like a nice dinner, and I just sit there. People try to talk to me, unless you're the waiter, I say no thank you, I appreciate it. But it's just like a time for me to kind of align with myself again and remember who I am and why I am who I am. So
good stuff. We all need that type of therapy, because
it's a good time. A lot of people are scared to as well, which it doesn't. Why are you scared to hang out with yourself?
Yeah, and spend time on yourself too, because my father instilled like an ironclad work ethic in me, and the expectations of other people weigh heavily. So a lot of times I would self-sacrifice, staying up really, really late or whatever, and it's just like I'm always trying to find balance in my life. There's going to be a night or two here or there when I have to do that, but I want to make sure that those are the exception and not the rule, and just take care of me, because if you don't help yourself first, you can't help anybody else, right? Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I got to get home, hit the elliptical, or stretch a little bit, do a little weight training. I do a little freestyle mat training. I'm going to start just shadow boxing because I don't have a heavy bag. We don't have room in my place for a heavy bag. But just exercising like that, getting my cardio up, you know what I mean? And just staying in shape, because this is the only vehicle we have to get us through the rest of our lives. So you got to keep that in tune. You got to lift the hood. Look, does it need a tune-up? Yes, a little therapy on the weekend or whatever have you.
Right. Yeah.
And get away from it, because I started realizing more at the point where my brain is reaching like the red line, right? Like I've been burnt out all day long. Like you need to disconnect from this stuff so you can regroup and either do it later on in the evening or the next day or whatever have you. But I do the same types of things. Don't really take myself shopping as much.
It's a good time. It's a good time. And then nobody can tell you, oh, that doesn't look good, because you'll be like, yeah, I look good. And then, hey, it's what you like yourself.
I'm sure it would be awesome, but like, I don't know if it's different. Maybe just because like I'm like this. What I would think of in my mind is maybe the stereotypical old school guy, right? I don't, I have a few different suits. Right? My gray, my black suit, my navy, whatever. I collect ties. So one, I guess, unique and interesting thing about me is I probably have 200 of them. Maybe, I don't know. I've never really counted. There might be more, there might be less, but I have many, many ties because I feel like you can take a suit and make it look like a new suit each time just with a snazzy new tie. And
that's really cool.
And that way you're not overfilling the closet as a guy. It's like, I'm trying to look James Bond all the damn time, and I just got to switch up the tie. And like,
that's really cool.
I don't feel like I've seen that before. That charcoal gray one or whatever, or chocolate brown. But I've never seen that tie before. You know what I mean? It's trick people into thinking it's like something new that I was doing when it's really not. But that's why I don't have to shop as much. But
well, we're women.
What's your jam though? You must enjoy something. Is it fishing or hunting or skydiving?
I enjoy
shooting pool.
I'm not really. I'm pretty risk averse. I don't think I don't know if I'll ever try skydiving. I'm not ruling it out, but it's not something that's like I'm like right away ready to do.
Okay.
I haven't shot a gun in years, but I do enjoy that too. I like personal fitness. I need to make more time for that than I do right now, even though I do a lot. I just had ACL surgery last year with patellar tendon replacement too, so I've been working on that. But the leg is feeling great. It's like back to feeling like a real leg. I like mixed martial arts, boxing, things like that.
Cool.
Like I like to watch that. It's a crazy like flow of like skill and like it's almost like a ballet. There is a like rhyme and reason to it all. I enjoy watching that. I enjoy breaking bread, doing these breaking bread videos.
That's a good
That's
time.
kind of like, this is therapy
Yeah.
for me too. We're just chilling, relaxing. It could be gray skies out there, but it's all sunshine up here. And these lovely lights. I was talking about this on the last episode of Breaking Brian. When you're under these lights, it kind of feels like you're getting a tan or something, right? You're not. Like,
It's like a mini
it feels maybe a
vacay.
little bit.
Mini vacay, right?
Oh,
Like
just close your
sunbathing, you're
eyes, feel
light-bathing.
it.
You kind of have to sometimes, right? Like, I don't get to leave the city that much. I do have a lovely trip planned with my girlfriend. We're going up to our family summer house way up in the North Woods of Wisconsin. It's coming
Oh,
up in
really?
February.
That's exciting. That's where we go.
How far north do you go?
We go to Woodruff.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, annual trip, and it's so much fun. My family.
So you
is,
may go further north.
We
But
go
you can't
fairly
mow.
far north, yeah. We're
That's-
close to like Duluth Superior. It's near Minnesota.
Oh,
It's
I
like
don't know
a
where
6 or
that is.
7 hour drive. It's on the northwest side.
Because
of
we're
the state.
5.5, so you have to go 7 to get onto the other side, right?
Yeah, but we're going up there. My goal is to get up there more often because we have this big, beautiful house. There used to be a bed and breakfast for the railroad, right? So there was a railroad that ran right by the house, and they removed the railroad. It is now like an ATV or like snowmobile in winter.
Yeah, yeah.
So they have these
Dirt
trails,
road.
these state trails. I'd like to get up there more often, but it's not a place you can just go to for a few days at a time. It's that far
That's
of a drive
correct.
where you have to
It
do
is.
at
How long is
least
the drive?
4 days, 6.5
6.5.
hours roughly. But it's incredible. The experience is incredible. So we're going up there for the 4th of July. But what I do here is a lot of time on the weekend, I'll go get a haircut. I'll stop at the bar or whatever. There's a bar like a block away from where the barber shop's at. And I'll just relax and I'll just open up, Facebook or whatever, catch up on my social media messages. Let Corona wash away the stress of the last week like waves in the ocean. And then I maybe I take a little something to go. I go home and that's my nice little evening. Go see my ma. Hey ma, how are you? I have made some food for you. The shells and the tuna you like, I made them and bringing them over. That's like a typical Sunday for me. Mother's Day is coming up. My mom's birthday is also this next Friday.
Oh, on the
happy
3rd?
early birthday
So,
for her.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
We're
May
gonna have dinner at her
3rd.
house. Bring her a nice cake. Her health isn't the greatest, so she doesn't go out as much. She had, but maybe with warm weather, she'll be getting out more often. But yeah, that's what I do.
That's celebrating mom, right?
That's exciting.
Yeah.
What are we doing
have
for
to.
Mother's Day? What are we doing for Mother's Day?
We are going to see that funny movie with those two young ladies, and I don't remember their names. And
So Anne Hathaway is one of them. The Hustle, I believe.
oh yeah,
is the movie, right?
Fat Patricia,
Yes.
who was really Fat Amy, In Pitch Perfect?
In Pitch Perfect.
So you're
it's
going to the
hilarious.
movies.
Well, that's going to be on Mother's Day. So we go to church always in the morning on
Yep.
Mother's Day, and then we'll go see a movie with my mom. So this is the patriarch of the family, and then myself, and then Cheyenne and Isabel and Nicholas. So we'll all go see a movie. But on Saturday, my new Mother's Day request is that the kids are going to come over. They're going to print their favorite pictures from the year before, and we're going to add to the scrapbook.
Oh, we have this family scrapbook.
Yeah. We have a family
One scrapbook or
We
edition?
have we have a family quote book.
Oh, yes.
The scrapbook is going to be in tandem, second to the quote book.
So the quote book, let me
It's like some
explain
Game of Thrones
this.
second chapter type of thing.
No, it's not Game of Thrones.
No.
So
I just threw out a random pop culture
it's
term.
more-
Like, it's just like
it's
the
more
next
of a
chapter.
combination of, like,
the
Mean
Avengers,
Mean
maybe.
Girls.
Yes,
It's
Mean
like Mean Girls, the
Meet
Bird
the
Book.
Parents.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
let
yeah.
you just describe it for me instead of like
So
throwing it out there.
This book, we just like, my family is absolutely hilarious. And obviously
we
we're
have a
mixed
hoot.
family, right? So there's mom, there's Bernie, there's my little brother and sister, and then there's my other two little brothers from Bernie. And so every time we get together, I'm telling you, it's like I'm having one conversation with mom, but I'm also having it simultaneously with Isabel and Nick or Henry about completely different subjects. And then one
is
of
our
us
family.
says something and it mutes everybody else because it is so funny. So we made this quote book to kind of capture and remember those memories and those lines. They're so random. We do not let anybody but the family read them because it's kind of like our family secret.
Well, actually, other non-family reads them. Only family are able to quote within the book.
A lot of
I have to
non-family
respect
cannot
the
read
sacredness
them,
of
so,
that. Yeah.
It's a good time.
So
It's
this
a
is
great
yearly
time.
tradition, then?
No, it's whenever it happens.
Whenever
and
we
it
say
happens quite
something.
often
Yes.
in our family.
Yeah.
And you add to it.
And we add to the. So have you seen the movie Mean Girls?
I have not.
Okay.
You've never seen Mean Girls?
I'm not
No.
surprised Brian has not
I've
seen
heard
Mean
the
Girls.
title.
Let's. So
Never seen
you wanna
it.
you wanna explain Mean Girls?
So Mean Girls, the head Mean Girl, Regina George, okay? So she just rules the entire school.
Which is
And
high
she-
school,
yes,
by
high
the
school.
way.
Which
And-
is the universe at some point.
Oh,
So
exactly. It's
yeah.
like your entire world, right?
Right.
But so she has this huge book that's called the Burn Book. And anytime she would get super upset with somebody, she would put their picture and then write a quote just shaming them, okay? Our book is not like that because we're not.
It's not
Yeah.
the burn book.
Yes.
It's the family quote
Quote
book.
book.
We need to clarify this
Yes.
immediately.
This
It's a
sounds very
family quote
unique to you
book.
guys.
It is.
Literally just like quotes that, one of them that I will share is Harrison, our youngest boy, or my youngest brother. One day he was looking out the windows after one party and he was like, "Hey, do you guys see Miss Tammy? She's vacuuming the lawn." And mom was sure enough out there vacuuming the lawn because of
I thought
confetti.
you meant cutting the lawn with a
No, I was
lawnmower.
vacuuming the lawn. I
Vacuuming
was
the
being my
lawn.
true Asian self and my
And-
descent.
yes.
And we had hosted a gender reveal, and there were Mylar type of explosives,
Yeah, like
what are
bazooka
confetti
confetti.
poppers. And I couldn't figure out another way to get it out of the grass, so I took my Dyson out there, like a good Asian would do, and I tried to vacuum the lawn.
You'd have to
I was
have the
trying to
height
vacuum
setting
the
set
lawn.
on very high because lawn is very plush.
I
you know?
understand that.
Yeah.
I was quite successful up to a certain point, and then I had to.
So
I
those
had
are
to
the
put it
types of
away.
things that
Those
go
are-
in the quote
yes.
book.
Did you break the Dyson?
Nope.
Okay.
Can't break the Dyson.
Die hard.
Can't break
Dyson
the
was
Dyson.
saying good things about you. Help the brand out. Sponsor
No.
Breaking Bread.
No, Dyson,
Dyson
perfect.
never quits, right? Like they're like the battle tank from like the wars of old.
Yeah.
You know, the Dysons. They've cleaned up so many messes. We have 3 cats, and we had a Dyson. It finally went on the fritz. Like after years, it was like just
Oh,
a
they're
true
durable.
warrior. Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Like that thing was like. We had a bond, you know, like it's Saturday, we got 3 cats, there's a lot of cat hair, it's gotta come off that carpet. Dyson's like, I got you. But salute to Dyson, I think we're gonna have to lay
You
that
may
Dyson
need
to
to get a
rest.
Dyson
another
2,
Dyson.
2.0. Dyson
Dyson
2.0.
Jr.
We opted for another brand, but we'll switch back eventually, I think. We're just, Dyson is, I don't know if it's in the baller budget right now. You know what I'm saying?
Dyson cleans the carpet, they clean the outside, it's great.
They now blow dry your hair. right?
Oh.
Oh, with the nice light. That's my,
Oh, yeah,
my hair
she does
dryer.
have
I have a
a-
Dyson hair dryer.
Yeah.
It's quite nice, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
Quite bouncy.
You got the Dyson stamp of approval. All right, folks, we'll be right back with you in a couple minutes. We're going to order our food, and we'll see you shortly.
See you shortly.
See ya.
We just got live, so we're going to tell the viewers. You're talking about the
Oh, we have an
family
annual gingerbread house. We
house
have traditions.
contest.
Every family has traditions. So with our tradition, one of the most memorable is our annual gingerbread house competition.
Okay.
It's a great time.
It is an incredible time. So we're in teams, typically 2 teams. So we have 4 younger kids. Cheyenne is not a younger child. She's now 27. I'm 45 and Bernie's 49. So we have 3 adults and 4 children. Cheyenne has a close friend come, whomever that may be, and we split into 2 teams. The 4 younger children, they're in 2 separate teams, so 2 younger children and then 2 adults each, right?
each
So
team.
there's 2 teams of 4 people. The prize has evolved into, there's typically candy involved. There used to be a stuffy involved. Now it's evolved into
And a stuffy is a stuffed animal.
a stuffed animal. Sorry.
Yeah. I call them stuffies.
It sounded intuitive, the shorthand
Yeah,
that you
The
used.
stuffy.
but
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
there used to be a stuffy with a candy bar. Now it's a stuffy with like money, right? Because the candy they'll go buy with whatever.
Stuff's tight
you know.
out there nowadays,
Yeah.
so you gotta have some money. Gotta have
They
some
just want
money.
the cash. The kids want the cash. But
Yeah.
the thing
Got
that it does do,
gingerbread
that's
house
right.
and some cash in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
hand. And if you build the best gingerbread house, you got the master plan. You can go shop bam,
wow,
and get your
look-
haircut.
Oh,
and
look
go,
at you.
get your nails did and your hair
Oh
did.
my gosh. That's also a Cheyenne date.
I was going to write a jingle, so for the past couple episodes, I did a jingle. I did one. I was with Bay Equity. Don't hate.
No hate.
We were out with Bay Equity, and I did a jingle for them, and then I did one for
Some great girls at Bay Equity.
very good people.
Great people.
Very good
never
people,
met anyone
hardworking
from
people.
Equity.
You have. There's some solid people.
Probably
there.
different events, maybe through
Yeah.
Chicago Association of Realtors or different events like that. But we did that one, and then I just did with Ainoa Garcia Jimenez from Realty of Chicago, and I had a little jingle for her. I was thinking about doing one for you guys too. It was gonna be like Mother's Day, the Cheyenne name, the Tammy way, Federal Savings
Oh, that's
Bank.
so cute.
Get your loan today, Federal Savings Bank. Get your loan today. I was gonna sing
Look
that.
at that. That's like catchy. I love it.
I was thinking about doing it. To be honest with you, like
I think you just did it though.
I think so.
I think
I
you
just
so.
did.
Yeah, you threw it out there.
But normally what I'll do is I'll like, for example, on the last one, I did the whole jingle and then I like looked at my watch and I'm like, would you look at the time? It's time to break some bread, you know. And I did like one of those when I went into the intro. So, but I was thinking about doing that, but I just honestly I don't think you're gonna have the time because we're filming this today and we're gonna be airing it within the next 2 weeks, so it has to be edited and everything.
It's all right.
We'll figure it out though. But that was a little taste of like.
That was so cool. I love that.
Well, on the weekends, one of my therapy things is, you know, I'll be relaxing or whatever, like I said. And, you know, I'll have music on, and I'm always thinking musically, very melodic, different things. And I've had a lot of good influences in that regard. Most of it's rap music, because that's one
That's
of the main
welcomed in our house. Old school and new school.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a
Old
little
school
bit of
and
good
new
stuff in
Yeah.
both. We can
Yes,
make a
there
salad, right?
is.
Blend it
Yeah.
all together.
And we
That's
have
right.
very many strongly worded discussions about which new generation or old generation is better, especially between like myself
And Henry.
and my little brother Henry.
So Henry,
Hilarious.
now 14, 8th grade, goes to a friend's house. In the basement, they have a recording studio, and he's recording his own raps.
Man, I'm gonna hang out with some
I'm telling
14-year-olds.
you.
I'll just get in the
I'm
studio and be
telling
like,
you.
cover your ears, son, cause I be swearing on you better not listen when Irish Capone gets on the run. That's my rap name, Irish Capone. But yeah, I'll be hanging out with a bunch of 14-year-old kids like, hey, turn up the gain on that level or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, rap battles over here. We'll bring Henry over, and then you can rap battle with Henry. What do you think?
I'm afraid I'm gonna get beat up by your 14-year-old son.
Oh
is what
my
I'm
gosh.
afraid of.
Yes.
You said
He's
14? 14.
hilarious.
14.
Yeah.
Earlier on, we were talking about you've been to, you know, a few different parts of the United States. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite place and why that you've been to?
What's yours?
I'm battling in my head a little bit between 2 different spots. Let me think about it real quick.
Well, how many states you've been through, though? 39?
46?
Oh, even more.
I
Woo.
think. A lot of them I don't remember though, but I've been through.
But you've been through them.
Yeah, I
But
have.
you've been through them. Okay.
I have.
I am not as well traveled as you. Let's see.
I could take a guess at the type of place you guys might like.
Okay. Ooh,
I'm
actually, I know mine.
curious.
I know
No,
mine. I know mine.
Let's have
Okay.
Brian guess.
Guess
Well, I was
first.
gonna say just a very naturey, like woodsy type of place, or like a very like a state with some kind of like nature park in it or something like that. Or it just seems like the kind of place you guys would connect with. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's what you strike me.
Nature freaks me out. I really don't care
Cheyenne
for
does
it.
not like
I
grass.
do not
Just
care
in
for
case you were
grass.
wondering, grass
So
on her feet?
strike,
No, not
strike
like
one
grass.
for Brian on
Nope.
Cheyenne.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's not her jam.
Not
grass
at all.
is not her
I
jam.
will say though, I love going mudding. I love going hunting, all that good stuff. So my goal, ever since I was little, even when I hadn't been there prior to, I always knew that I wanted to move to Nashville. I don't know why. And then I finally went for my birthday a few years ago, and like it felt like home. Chicago always feels like home. I've lived in other states.
Well, I'm afraid
but
we're gonna lose you to
it always
Nashville.
You will, because what I've always told myself is, hey, Chicago's always going to be my number one. But by the age of 40, I will have my first, second home in Nashville. 1,000,000%, it's going to happen. It's going to be gorgeous.
Well, then at least I'll have good friends in Nashville. Because
Yeah,
I've
you
never
will.
been. A lot of my friends used to go down there party for like the weekend or something.
Nashville
I
is
never quite
my
made it.
Vegas.
I was
It
busy
is-
grinding when trying to do law school or whatever, but I
Amazing.
missed all those good times, the times you have for the rest of your life.
You can still have them, and now you have a little bit of green.
Exactly.
Right, that you can enjoy in those areas. Don't worry about it. You haven't missed out on anything. They've just built the bars and made them look better.
What about yours?
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. I do enjoy nature. Love ziplining. Love being out. I don't mind the grass. I love the water. I love the beach. I love hiking. But I'm an extreme. So enjoy skydiving. Enjoy those type of activities. And I think because I like extreme, but I know that I have to continue to focus on work here, I go in little spurts, right? So Vegas is a fave, always has
I've never been to
been.
Vegas. Yeah.
Vegas has always been a fave.
Probably for the best.
Extremo land.
Yeah.
Miami is the southern extremo land with a little Latin flair
I've never been
to
there
it.
either. God.
So much fun.
You gotta
I
travel.
will probably.
New York is always a ton of fun. Again, like short, few day kind of trips there. My husband's an amazing golfer. So Bernie is an amazing golfer. He's actually off to St. Andrews next week. And St. Andrews, I didn't realize this. So the original golf course in Scotland, and you have to play, and you have to prove that you've played years past good enough golf to be a single handicap so you can get on the original course at St. Andrews. So pretty
didn't know that.
impressive. Pretty impressive. I never knew that. But we'll go to Palm Desert every February, and we'll go golfing with friends. So I do enjoy the outside and environment, but I'm a dancer and a party girl by heart. I love to have a great time. Just get my own jam on.
That's awesome. You mentioned like, just these various things, and like, some of them are the extreme things like skydiving, right? So like, the vibe I was getting is that if you do these extreme type of things, this stuff just seems like our business that we're in seems like regular. Like, I just jumped out of a plane yesterday. Like, this approval or this vehicle is like, I got this. I'm jumping from 10,000 feet and throwing up deuces. It's all good. You know what I mean? Like, so the every day to day is just kind of like not as big of a deal if you're going that extreme. Am I correct in my assessment, or I'm just talking out of my nose?
Yeah.
So I think that, sometimes the extreme is the release, because you need to, when you're talking about money with clients, right, you need to really contain yourself and make sure it's very specific and it's in process and it's linear, right, and it's intuitive. You can't be counterintuitive with money. So I think that's sometimes why we're extreme.
Thank you.
Oh, look at
Thank
that
you,
salad.
sir.
That's garbage salad. There it is.
That's the real deal.
And there's a flake salmon
So the
salad.
food is here, folks.
Yes.
My steak is on its way over.
Yes, it is. You butterflied your fillet.
Yeah, so it cooks evenly. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Carlos, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
Mashed potatoes, some mushrooms.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So
More
you do
and more
need to
from
come.
me.
Yeah, you
guys
do need to
help
come
me.
to Erie Cafe for this. Look at the amount of food
so
that you
good.
get. And then you have people like Carlos.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bon appetito.
So you guys first, and let me know. We'll do it. You let me know what we're having here and why you like it or what's good about it. Tell us what's good about this food.
Okay. Taste testing first.
And we're switching.
You want some dressing? Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I would love. You didn't get dressing on your salad?
No, because sometimes I do it wrong.
God, you are just annoying.
So you like to add it yourself?
Yeah.
She's so
Because
particular.
sometimes they might put
Brian.
too
I'm
much
so
or too
particular.
little, or-
Brian, it's incredible.
Would you like a lot of it or a little bit?
I only
incredible.
I like a certain
Actually, it
amount.
has to be the perfect amount,
Yeah.
Brian, just in case you were wondering.
Do you guys
Correct.
trade salads?
Yeah,
Is that a
because
permanent trade?
yeah.
So you kind of knew what your mom wanted and she kind of knew what you
No,
wanted?
no, I could tell by the way she reacted to mine coming out that she wanted mine.
That looks hearty. So, tell us what your mom ordered.
She ordered the salmon flaked
Flaked
salmon salad. And it's
It
very
looks
good.
Really good. Yeah, the salmon is finely chopped up. It's gonna
Yeah.
mix in very well. A lot of leafy greens in there.
It's very, very good. I will
My
tell you
voice
that.
is still squeaking like a teenager at some point. Oops, can't help that. Every once in a while it happens. But yes, so flaked salmon salad, nice leafy greens there, a little bit of avocado mixed in.
Avocado, you have
Avocado.
some
Hearts of palm.
some black olives, some tomatoes, obviously salmon.
What
Yeah.
kind of dressing do you have there?
Honestly, she didn't even know.
Okay, so
It's
some
a
kind
very
of dressing.
light vinaigrette.
Yeah, it's
Sure,
like
it's the
a.
bomb. We'll let you enjoy that.
It was so good.
And then Tammy, what do you have
And,
there?
and I have the garbage salad right now. So I have some black olives, some cheese, tomatoes, iceberg lettuce, a couple shrimp. It looks like salami, red onion. That's what Mom is now eating.
The name seems like a little counterintuitive. You hear garbage, I'm like, ew, garbage. But it looks really good. I'm kind of wondering how it got its name. We'll figure that out later, unless you guys already know the answer.
I actually do know the answer. So garbage salad is typically called garbage salad because they take things that would typically be left over in like the fridge and that you may have to throw in the garbage sometime soon. So what they do is they just throw it all together and there's your garbage salad. So before it goes bad.
I like that thing, nice green meal where it's efficient and you're not letting things go to waste. And
Yeah.
Getting
But
them all.
obviously these ingredients aren't about to go in,
I wouldn't think so.
the garbage, but they just call it that.
Yes, I was gonna say
They look very, very fresh.
they do. Even if it's a garbage salad, they're not going by how it got its name. They're going by nothing but the freshest ingredients. So, would it be safe to say that you guys recommend these salads to the viewers out there in Facebook land?
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. The food here and the calamari, the grilled calamari that we started with is
Was
amazing.
amazing.
I think I'm about to second that motion, folks. I have a filet mignon. I've gotten it butterflied so that it cooks evenly the whole way through. I like my steaks medium. I have plenty of sauteed, seasoned mushrooms here, which I've added on top of my steak. They're like peanut butter and jelly. They just kind of go together. So on the side here, it looks like they have a little bit of, I'm not really sure. I have a mixture here of broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and carrots. I'm gonna go ahead and dig in. We'll let you know how this tastes.
I think that's referred to as a medley.
A medley.
A medley.
That's so much more graceful than how I put it. No, I don't know what
Bunch
I
of
have.
different vegetables.
And they are a bunch of different vegetables, but I believe collectively when you put it all together, it's a medley. It's a
There
little
you go.
party of vegetables.
How is it good?
Very good.
Yeah. Oh, very good.
It's a great salad, isn't it?
The steak is very tender, very lean. Of course, it's very lean. And it's like perfectly charred in the outside. Not too much seasoning. I'm tasting a lot of the meat flavor, but just a perfect amount of seasoning where it's not taking away, like distracting from it. Very good.
And that is the beauty of this restaurant. So it is known to be a steakhouse, really, where the steak is the star. And then the Italian dishes, you didn't get a side of pasta or anything, but the Italian dishes, the pastas, their chicken and peppers or their sausage and peppers, amazing. Amazing here. You have to come back and try those.
I will.
And their pasta dishes as well. The meatballs, homemade. Everything here is grade A, brought in fresh. And because they are fourth generation restaurateurs and they have multiple locations, they get the freshest and the best of not just produce, but also of the meat cuts as well. So, isn't that interesting? That you enjoy mom's salad. You know how they say like mother, like daughter?
Wow.
It just takes a while for the daughter to like figure it out. It took me I'm talking about myself and my mom. Right, and mom. It took me so many years to figure that out, Brian. And finally I stopped arguing with my mother and I just agreed with her. And I needed to wait for the perspective so I could understand why she thought the way she thought. I think so.
Yeah.
Right?
And now I know why you thought that this was a great salad. Because it is.
And you mentioned fresh ingredients, like the broccoli and the vegetables here. Super fresh. It's like these were just picked, like literally earlier today or something. Super green. I'm feeling healthy. Yes, I love carbs and protein, but I decided to stay away from the pasta today, which I almost regret a little bit. I couldn't hear our waiter, Oscar, when he said what type of potatoes I was getting, so I thought he said there was some kind of like cheesy potatoes or something on the side. Had I known, I would have went with the pasta, but it's all good. It was meant to be this way.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna get back to the food in a minute. Very delicious. I will be back here again. Lovely place. Just like I said, perfectly cooked through, perfectly charred, super healthy vegetables. I guess just a few final things before we get going.
Quick second.
Yeah.
Before we kind of wrap things up and what have you, you mentioned that you would be making your mom like some shells and seafood. What is like one dish of hers that you just love?
I don't know. I mean, I'd say probably like her pancakes were really good growing up. She like whatever it was, you know, it was like there's a million different types out there, but mom's were the best. Sometimes she put chocolate chips or blueberries or bananas or whatever have you.
Okay.
Yeah, probably breakfast food, you know. Good memories of starting the day off and watching my Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles on the weekends. And that shows you how old I am because, like, you know what I mean? Like, here's what happened with those shows. They went away for a while and then they made a comeback because they made a couple new movies or whatever. Like, I saw the originals. Like, I missed out on the remakes or whatever have you.
Okay, all right.
I see you guys did the Aeon walk for charity where you walk the stairs in the Aeon Center.
We did.
Yep.
What was the charity?
It was the Lori Children's Foundation. So it was for the Children's Hospital, obviously supporting those little baby angels that need a little bit of help and that need our prayers and our blessings, all that good stuff.
And I think it was 80 floors, right?
Wasn't it 90?
I thought it was the 80th floor that we ended up at. That was the top floor. It was the 80th floor. The Mid-America Club of
All
the
I know
Aeon
is that I
building.
beat everyone. So
You guys made the full,
Cheyenne absolutely.
I
She
was
took
the
us out.
first.
She took
I
us
was
out.
the first
like,
one up.
first of everybody or just first?
Oh, of our low group.
Of
that
her
we had.
clan.
Yeah.
Of her clan.
I was going to say, damn, you
Yeah.
go get her, like, first one up to the top out of however many people do that. I don't know, a couple hundred that do that?
Well,
or-
they all start at different times.
Yeah, they stagger them. So
Yeah.
I believe over the day it is a couple thousand that actually go through
There's a lot of
and
people.
step up 80 flights. And it's
That's a lot.
super impressive. So
It is.
there was a lot of civil servants. There were police officers, firemen in full gear that went up all 80 flights. And
that
is
is
super
punishment.
impressive.
Like, bless them for doing that.
Well, but they give so many, they really serve our city very well, and they just want to represent their particular department. And there were a lot of kids that went up. A lot of
Yeah.
children of either steppers themselves or they had a brother or sister that was affected by an illness as a child, and they went up all 80 flights. And it's really heartfelt. You see different stories throughout the flights. There'll be different pictures of those that benefited from Lurie. And what was really neat this time, it's the first time both of us had done it. What was really neat is that Cheyenne's younger sister, my youngest daughter, sang with her band next week. That's the name of their band up in Glenview. And you should go visit them because it's, I think, Instagram next week Glenview.
And there's a shout out right there.
That's right. That was a total shout out. But they sang at the top, and their band did a 45-minute set.
Oh, so good.
Everybody rocking out.
Everyone rocking it out.
Stairwalk.
That's right.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and it's all the way at the top of the Mid-America Club, which is the main club at the Aon building at the 80th floor. So they did a nice little set, and that's what was cool. This was a family affair. Many of what we do and we have a lot of fun with is all surrounding the family. Family business, family and representing. I come from an immigrant family myself, so my mom and I came here. My mom was 33 and I was 2, and we immigrated from South Korea. And then, Cheyenne, like all of us together, we're just such a strong family. Strong women. We all have our opinions, that's for sure. But we all highlight and really edify the other and what the strengths are. We all have our own strengths, but we highlight the others of our family as well. And the men, we have very strong men in our family. Bertie's extremely strong, 10-year Army veteran. And I know, Henry is 14 now, so he's strong in his own regard. 8th grade, graduating, and off to high school. Great hockey player, amazing hockey player. And then Nicholas is 12, and he's super smart. I think he's smarter than all of us collectively put together.
Smarter than all of us. It's
put together.
terrifying how much this little kid knows.
And amazing. All at the same time. It's the youngest son. My youngest son, and then my youngest bonus boy, Harrison. Incredible golfer. The sweetest thing ever.
Oh, he's like a little stuffy.
He really is.
He is the
He's
most
like the stuffy.
sweetest little boy you've ever met.
But I believe you're going to see him on the golf circuit. Like, he is that good.
Well, you guys seem like you have a really cool family. And I kind of feel like maybe they could write a sitcom about it, or you guys could do like a reality show.
We totally could.
We totally could.
Absolutely.
We totally
Absolutely can. I'm telling you, this family quote book, if you just read some of the quotes.
You could make an episode around like maybe each quote and then like tie it up at the end with the
Yes.
quote, like how it got worked in or something.
Yep.
The Gingerbread House competition
Well,
in
if
itself.
you guys do that and it works out, keep your boy Brian in mind.
That's right. That's right. We'll pay love to you, homage to you there, Brian.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, did you guys raise a good bit of money for the charity then? Or?
That particular Lurie event raised almost $800,000.
For everybody combined?
Everyone combined.
And so, do you get sponsors that will sponsor if you complete the walk, or how does that work?
Well, you did have pledges. Absolutely, you
pledges,
pledged. The walkers themselves got pledges individually, and then sometimes people teamed up. But it was all for. And then Lurie does a ton of different, obviously, fundraisers throughout the year. They did a dance-a-thon at DePaul University just recently. Last month, Shine was at that as well. And they do so many, and it's just to raise money for the charity itself.
Good deal.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
We haven't asked you any questions, Brian. How come?
Well, usually the tables don't turn or it doesn't flip. Not that it matters.
come on.
This is a conversation, but
know.
usually I'm the one doing the interviewing and not the other way around. But
Yeah, but we want to know about you too.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the curiosity as to who we are as people outside of this and the industry. So ask away whatever you want to know.
All right. Shine gets a question. I get a question.
I already asked a question.
Oh,
I
okay.
asked him what his mom's favorite meal is.
All right.
So then you can ask when the mom wants to know.
Don't you love how this? What personality type would you consider Cheyenne? Driven. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we clarified that, so Brian,
I was going to try to think of like a thoughtful, like well thought out, well crafted answer, but yes, driven.
So grew up in Chicago, a little southwest side of Chicago,
By Midway Airport.
by Midway
I
Airport.
grew up there. I moved downtown for a while I was going to school.
Okay.
And then I moved back there. It's where my roots are. I'm very sheltered. Like I said, I don't travel as much. So my heart's
say
always there.
sheltered.
My anchor of my heart is always there. I will travel. I've been to Ireland. I've been to a couple different states. Things
That's
like
really
Nice.
cool.
And so, what was your motivation to explore law, and then real estate law?
Originally, workers' rights was my what got me
Oh.
to go to law school.
Okay.
My dad was an electrician by trade, and I was very passionate about labor law and workers' rights issues. And then you mix things up, right? You get into law school and you learn more. And I had a professor. Shout out to Julie Spanbauer at the John Marshall Law School, downtown Chicago. I took her contracts class and it was very business oriented, right? Most business transactions, or all of them, are governed by agreements and contracts. And so I got more into that. So, it was a question for me of, do I go down the path of being a trial lawyer, or do I go into more of the transactional business side of things? And I think it worked out well. I went down the business path. In a courtroom you're arguing a lot, there's a lot of motions back and forth, all this different stuff, a lot of paperwork. I like doing business, you know what I mean? Talking business. Yeah, we got this, we got that. Yes, let's make a deal. All right, we're getting it done. Sounds good. Boom, hang up the phone. It's cool, right? It's like you feel like you're part of something that you've seen somewhere else. And so I like the business part of it. I like transactional. I like real estate. And also real estate law it's not super complex conceptually, right? But it's something you need to know what you're doing, and you need to know, be on top of things and know the business and the industry. So for me, I didn't need a lot of supervision, right? It's like, if you murdered somebody, don't come to me. I'm not, if you come in Brian, I killed somebody, help me out. You have to be under the supervision of a trial lawyer, have a lot of experience in that area of law for a while to do that. That's not me. So I got out, and I have a few mentors to this very day, great real estate attorneys in the city of Chicago. Shout out to my guy, Lou Scanicio from St. Joseph's and the John Marshall Law School. Thank you for being there for me. Vincent Gopero from the John Marshall Law School, another shout out. One of my best friends. We're working on a couple of deals together right now. Just all the good people are there for me that help to fill in the blanks, and I hope that I've been there to do that for them too. Lou, I usually pay off in scotch. He's a Johnny Walker man.
Oh, what kind? Johnny Walker.
He's a Johnny
Okay.
Walker. I get him a couple of decent bottles here and there, so thank you for all the help. And then Vince, I probably owe Vince, but he's a real good dude. Vince of the Real Law Group. He's if you need a good real estate attorney, he's another good one in the game.
Okay.
So that's how I got into it, and that's how I've maintained and grown and getting more business and building and doing stuff like this and just being out there and networking and shaking hands. I'm a huge believer in that. Love building relationships, love being a good friend to mankind and womankind, and all that good stuff.
So, I think one thought-provoking question I was curious about all of us sitting at the table is, where do you see the industry, and what is kind of what your stamp will be in that legacy?
In the short term, very, very positive, in the long term, the technology is changing America, and some people out there are advocating that we could be seeing a fourth industrial revolution. So I don't want to start talking Terminator, Judgment Day, stuff like that. It's not like that. What I mean though is that automation could be changing the American economy. So
for sure.
I'm thinking about that and planning for the rainy day while it's still sunny outside. That's one of my little sayings. I plan for the rainy day when it's sunny out. So I'm enjoying this now. I'm working hard now. I'm trying to close as many deals as I can and just be a good advocate for my clients now. Who knows what the future holds? I do know the market has been very good for a while. Usually the corrections come a little bit more quickly, but we've been on this expanding thing now for 7 or 8 years, maybe more.
Longer. Yeah,
the economy's been great. We've been seeing some good numbers in the economy right now. Jobs are up. I can't remember the recent jobs report that just came out, but I think they said the economy has been growing at a very good pace, somewhere in the ballpark of 3% or over per year, which is good for a developed nation such as the United States, because we're already developed. We don't have all this growth opportunity you would see in other countries where their growth rate is 10% or higher or something. But yeah, in the short term, good. And then in the future, I'm planning for offering other types of services, or focusing on that more. So in case there's a shift, I'm always ready to be there in the real estate market, but also, in the real estate market, there's one realtor that we were just at the YPN breakfast last week, and one of the speakers, Phil Byers, was saying, it's always either going to be a buyer's market or seller's market. You need to recognize it. He had so many good things to say, so shout out to Phil.
You did amazing. Oh my gosh, knocked it out of the park.
Very good. I look forward to getting to know him better. I met him briefly after his presentation, but
well, and so to touch on that, he didn't only say it's always going to be a buyer's or a seller's market. he said it's always going to be a market.
Yeah,
so you
there's
just got to
always
go with it. It's not going to be a buyer's. It's not going to be a seller's. You just got to know how to navigate it and how to change with that market. So he hit on some amazing points whenever we were at that breakfast.
Yeah, very amazing points, and he had the data to back it up too.
Yeah.
And I don't think everybody really looks at that too much, and I don't expect everybody to, but I do respect those that do, because then they can inform us like we had. So, and then shout out to everybody at the YPN, Chicago Association of Realtors. Thank you very much for putting on those breakfasts every month, and then just all the other events throughout the year. The golf outing, which were you at the golf outing last year?
Yep, absolutely.
I'm surprised I didn't bump into you.
No, I was there. I played golf though, so it would depend on where you were in the rotation.
Yeah, you might
and
have been
I were in
earlier or later
rotation.
than when I.
That's right.
I didn't even
Yeah.
tee off because at the time I had my ACL. I was literally still had a brace on and everything. I was the designated driver of the golf cart.
There you go.
In my
There you go.
foursome
That's not a
of
bad
golf.
position.
It's not. It's just doing the good, honorable thing, and. But I'm looking forward to that. I think it's July 12th this year, so we got that.
It is, and we're doing a 5K run. The Chicago Association is doing a 5K run this year, so it's a charitable run. The Trustee Foundation, which I sit on for the association, is hosting its first 5K Chicago Association run.
When is that?
I believe it's June 22nd.
Okay.
That's what the date that is resonating. So just a couple of weeks before the golf outing itself.
Right here in Chicago?
Right here in Chicago, and it's going to be a realtor run with other type of consumers, and really, the realtor families being able to run across the city and highlight the neighborhoods that they've helped people purchase in. That's really neat.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
wish I could say I would join you guys.
You can walk it.
I might be there for
You
moral
can walk
support.
it. You can
Maybe.
absolutely
But
walk it.
You guys will already be eating or having drinks after it's over, and I'll still be walking it.
That's okay. You and I both. I'm not a runner either.
Well, I haven't
You and I
been
both.
running over a year because of the ACL surgery, so I'm still kind of like building the leg back up and strengthening it up. And
I
so
haven't
we'll
run
get
in
there.
45, so it doesn't matter. You and I both. I'm not a runner.
Okay, so now for
Feels
my
good, though.
question.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just highlight something because, we want to make sure that we cover all aspects of business during this because this is really cool and what have you, but we don't want to shy away from the personal side, right? So tell me, what is one goal that you have for yourself personally within 5 years for you to either accomplish or to master, something like that?
Learning Spanish.
Okay, that's really cool.
Excellent. Why
That's
is that?
really cool.
I learned it when I was younger, but I had pretty bad ADD as a kid. I think if I could have relearned it, or when you go to law school, you reprogram how to dissect things and be more reasonable about things. And also with ADD, you become more cognizant of it as you age. So I was able to control it better. So I feel like overall I would be a better student now. So I want to relearn Spanish. I'd like to maybe open some businesses outside of real estate, but that's more of a stretch goal. I don't have a lot of things in mind other than maybe podcasting or things like that.
Okay.
What else? Just continue to grow my business, and maybe it gets to the point where I can start making some investments. So the challenge for me is, it's like Biggie said, right? More money, more problems. So I've been making more money, but I've been spending more too, because in order to make more money, you have to grow, right? So staff grows, or you're adding on new legal software or something in your office, and all these things start to add up into the overhead cost. So after a while, I was, saving more money, making investments in not just real estate, but probably stocks, bonds, different things like that.
Okay.
There's so many things. An example. Let's say we had invested in Chipotle when it first hit the stock market.
Whew.
We could have bought shares for $20 or $22 a share. In its height a few years ago, Chipotle was over $500 a share. That would have paid for my law school, would have paid for my college, whatever have you.
Yeah.
But things like that, all the social media we've seen now, if we did not invest in those stocks when they first got offered, oh my goodness, what a great opportunity. Bitcoin, all those different, that's a little riskier of a thing to mess around with. Personally, I'm not fully sold on that, but there's a lot of people out there who have made money on that too, especially if they bought in really early. So investments, personal growth, and maintaining being in shape throughout, like I said, this is the only vehicle we have, making sure I'm taking good care of myself, eating healthy. For a while, I'm going to have on the owner of the meal company that I would order from. Nice healthy meals, and they're delivered once a week, and then you have enough to last you for the week or whatever have you. I use fresh basil. Also shout out to Eat Clean Chicago. I have not worked with them, but I understand they deliver really good quality products. Some of my colleagues use them. But yeah, just make sure I'm putting good food in my body, and keeping longevity so I live a good long life, because I'm happy. Even when I'm sad or depressed, I don't stay that way for very long periods of time. So I have so much to offer the world and so many good things to do that's why I want to keep myself healthy and better and able to do that over the next few years. So personal fitness, education, investing, and just being a good friend to mankind and not losing my sanity in the whole process.
Okay.
If I can accomplish that, God bless, we'll be back here in a few years eating bread again, you know what I mean?
There we go.
Yeah,
a few years, my goodness. How about a few
it.
months? How about you, Cheyenne?
How about me?
You asked what the one goal was.
Oh, the one goal for 5 years. So this is just strictly personal. My one goal is within 5 years, I want to become a wine connoisseur. So I want to learn the differences between wine. I want to understand. And you may think that right now you could totally do it, but if you're actually like delving deep in like the good wine, that stuff's costly, right? So it's not like you can go to Trader Joe's and get like a $2.99 bottle and be like, oh, I know this has very light flavors, what have you. Like that's a little, come on.
You already got your descriptions kind of ready.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, there's a little bit of a cherry blossom taste, but what have you.
You could do a little wine review show with a different colleague, like
I could.
Frank
But to get into the big ones, like the very the nice bottles, right? I want to learn everything about it. So my goal is within 5 years, I'm going to actually be able to do so. And actually know.
I think you will be. You will have your second home, and you will be a connoisseur in that time.
Yeah, well, second home's a little bit longer. It's more like 10-ish years, but
It was
yeah.
15.
Well, then
13.
You'll be a connoisseur once you get into your new home.
Oh
You'll
yeah,
be all
so
of it.
that wine cellar is gonna be just decked out. It's gonna be nice.
You have a vision too. You already got your wine cellar in mind, and you'll be a connoisseur by that time.
Oh yes. What about you, Mom?
Oh, I didn't realize there was a 5-year goal. Let's see. So I'm 45, and by the time I'm 50, I need to do a triathlon. So I'm not the runner. It's not my jam. I can swim, not a problem. I could bike. The running I have to get over. I'll get over it. I'll do one before I'm 50.
You skydive out of planes. Why, running?
I don't like running.
Doesn't it just bore you?
It's a little boring to me. Running's a little boring. But that's okay. So that's what goals are for, right? You're supposed to overcome something, and I set the goal, and I'll achieve the goal. That's a personal goal. And, and then I still have 4 kids to get out of the house as far as off to college and through college, on to the next part of life. And I'm confident I'm going to be a grandmother here in less than 10 years. I am not looking in a direction. I have 5 children to get me there.
Yep.
Everything at the right time.
That's right. Everything in due time.
Yep.
For now, I just borrow other people's babies, as Cheyenne
As I
knows,
mentioned.
or their pets.
Yeah.
We had a Bernese Mountain Dog this past weekend that friends of ours, clients, past clients of mine that have become friends, and we borrowed Hudson for a weekend, and it was super cute. So because I don't find my lifestyle to maintain a dog full time.
We have cats, so it works out really well. They're very independent. They take care of themselves.
That's right.
You got to fill up their food in their water dish.
You pet them and right?
Yeah,
So,
they're majestic creatures. They give love and they want to receive love, and those are their 2 primary purposes. They're basically both number 1. Future goals, right? So 5-year plan, sounds like you guys kind of both got them solid.
So here's one more on my 5-year. So my husband and I have so we facilitate pre-Cana classes, which is the initial marriage class that you would host in the Catholic religion, right?
Right.
Just prior to getting married. And we have a goal to launch and have a successfully built platform at that point to coach other young couples on how to have a perfect marriage, because I don't think that exists. No one is perfect. Humans aren't perfect. But to have a great marriage and to be excited about being married and grow with another person. So we have, we've been facilitating pre-Cana, and then we're going to grow our coaching of young couples and centered with God. That's our faith. Not everyone has that faith, but whether it's, you know, the universe, God, whomever you may call your superior being. Ours is, you know, with God at the focus. So we're excited about that. That's our 5-year plan.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you,
As a couple.
is that, I was going to say, what, were you thinking about doing it as a business? But it doesn't sound like that's more of like a call.
No, it would be a business. So
Okay.
it is a little bit of a passion project, you know, and a business at the same time. I think we're not counselors, we're not licensed. That is not where the angle we're taking. Just you need to, Cheyenne mentioned it earlier, the books you're reading, the people you surround yourself with, you need to be, as soon as you're married, you need to be around strong couples. And how do you talk through certain topics? And it's okay to have conflict, but how do you resolve the conflicts and
Managing,
tactics behind that? And then, honestly, I think I mentioned it earlier, being vulnerable. And it's okay, I screwed up. I didn't have the best conversation. How did I get around that? How did I apologize to it? As a parent, we don't get manuals, right? Children are born, we don't get the manual. We say stuff. You know, I've been reading a lot of Jen Shincharo lately, and she's the You Are a Badass book series. I can't say the actual statement, but I will say a version of it. She said, you may be screwed up, and that's fine, but it's your fault if you stay screwed up, right? So we should all be seeking to get better. And I think that's where the coaching that Bernie and I are looking to provide, and, you know, whether it's young professionals in the business or young couples just starting their life, we're looking to grow that business of ours.
I look forward to seeing how it develops, because this is the first time we're sitting down breaking bread together, but I know you guys will be part of my life as a professional and on a personal level going forward. So I'm looking forward to see how that all develops, and then seeing how I can learn from it too, because I agree with you, right? Nobody's perfect, and I just try to, in my own relationship, maintain mindfulness, right? And I've felt myself coming up short here and there, but I learn from it. There's this coach, John Cavanaugh, and he always says, we win or we learn, right? There is no losing, it's just winning or learning, and that's how I feel. So every day I wake up, I try to be a better version of myself, or be, you know, better than the day before, and that's all part of the learning process. So I definitely look forward to hearing how that all plays out. I'll probably be a part of it too. In fact, I might end up being in the group. But running, like you mentioned running earlier, right? Don't want it. It's not your jam, right? It's not your jam.
My jam.
I find that it's very yeah, it can be tedious, but once you get in that zone, like, first of all, you get that like runner's high, and you get that like mind-body unison, and I just zone out, and I'm just thinking like my best thoughts at that time. So it's something to kind of look forward to. Now,
I love running.
do you run outside or do you run
runner.
at the gym?
I do both. I did cross country back in high school, and I loved it. It's such a good time.
Well, it would seem like just now, like, do you like to people watch at all? Is that like a thing for you or no?
Oh yeah,
Professional people watching.
Back in
right
high
here.
school, so I'm born and raised in Lakeview, and so back in high school, I would always walk my little tail over to like Wrigley, that little strip of bars,
Right.
and I would go to Ian's, which is now Demo's Pizza, and I get 2 slices, and I would sit on the sidewalk and just watch all of these drunk couples, all of these young women looking for a husband. And it was honestly, that was one of my favorite pastimes.
Well, probably because
it was so good.
all the passersby wouldn't even notice that you had 2 slices of pizza,
No.
so you don't have to worry about the judgment.
They had
I got
no
2 of them here.
And you know, I'm just this tiny little high schooler, and I'm just like, oh, you are hilarious. You need to go home. It's such a good time.
Well, the reason I mention it is because it kind of sounded that way earlier, like when you go out on your like pamper day or your like, or, like breakaway day. Like, I'm just observing everything else that's going on. I'm going to be a sponge today. So you can do that a lot when you're running. So
Something I have to look forward to then.
I guess so.
See? Okay.
So we'll wrap up shortly. Is there anything that you want the viewers to know about you or your business at all? We'll also give you a chance to introduce yourself. We'll edit that back into the beginning. But any hobbies, anything unique? Is there something you want people to know, or a lesson, a little nugget you want to leave in? We're also going to do a couple shout outs too. Anybody that comes to mind that you would like to shout out to, we'll do that. So starting first, just anything, one last thing you want to leave with the viewers, any topics you wanted to touch on at all?
Really, I would just say, whenever starting your business, or even if you're continuously growing your business, kind of just try to hone in on your why. Maybe figure out what you bring to the table. I've recently, I've always been searching for it, and I knew it was because I wanted to help people and because I always wanted to nurture people, but I didn't know what my strengths were. But within the past year, I realized that my three main strengths are communication. I always want to make sure that everybody knows that I'm always there for them, whether it be personal, professional. If you need something, I'm here. Education. I think that a lot of people, especially first-time home buyers, millennials, they need to know exactly what's happening, and I always want to make sure they don't feel as if they're only signing papers, but rather understanding. And customer service. So really, it's all about the process. You want to streamline it. It doesn't matter if you're Joe Schmo or Susie Q. I'm going to treat you the same, and you're going to have fun doing it. So it's really what I would just say my little tidbit is find out what you do, why you do it, and what you're great at. Because that's when you're going to start to see yourself fly a little bit.
Very well said, and very well rounded. So very well grounded too, both of you. So if you need somebody confident and a good professional team, obviously it's right here. Mm-hmm. How about you, Tammy?
You come across different people for different reasons, and I think you should always take away the good of that. So I have many heroes in my life. My first, and I didn't always see her this way, starts with my mom. Very strong woman. She built in me, I saw in her, I think, hope, and that you can do anything you put your mind to, and to cut out the noise. And then she now reflects back on her life, and she appreciates all the blessings she's been given. And then I've had a lot of other mentors, 3 women and 1 male, sorry. The 3, so Cheryl Kananowitz, Jill Mastriani, and Debbie Winnick. 3 strong women in their own regard, but vulnerable, and it was okay not to be perfect. And as a woman, that resonated more so probably now than ever before. And then the last is my husband. My husband is a beacon of confidence and light in so many ways. And he sees the good in everyone, but he sees the best that they have to show. And sometimes he will press you for that. And I encourage people to have that same impact on others. Probably let people come to that determination, maybe by asking better questions of them so they, understand where they can grow. But really see the best in people, and then have them see the best in themselves. So whether you play mirror to them, or maybe you are willing to sacrifice your friendship with them for them to be the best that they can. So that's where I leave people is we're here because we weren't meant to. I mean, if you think about just like livelihood in itself, right? The fact that we're conceived, the numbers are astronomical.
Just the odds of that actually happening.
The odds of that
here
happening.
on planet Earth.
Right?
Like, do you know how special it is that we're sitting here as 3 human beings having a meal? Like, all of our cells stay together to make up us on this spinning rock in the sky in this giant universe inside of a universe inside of a universe inside of ever-expanding space. Like, thank you, dear Lord, for these blessings.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that's those are kind of the resounding words I'd like to leave with the audience today. And I want to thank you, Brian.
Thank you so much.
Really enjoyed this with you. I didn't understand it in the beginning, but I see the magic of it now, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just therapeutic. It's just a couple people having a good conversation, and we're capturing this moment that we all had, all these interesting things about ourselves, about our business, and about where we're going, and what other people what we can learn from them, and they can learn from us. We've captured that, so we'll always have it on YouTube. It'll be floating out there in internet land and all that good stuff for us to look back on.
All right.
You gave a couple of shout outs. Is there anybody else you'd like to shout out to in work, personal life, whatever? Now's your chance to shout out to them.
Who are we going to shout out to?
I would love to shout out to my role model, my mom. She is my #1 role model. We've gotten very, very close, so I love it. I would love to as well as shout out to Bernie, because he has helped me grow tremendously, and I love him so much. And then obviously Amma. So Amma's her mom, my grandma. We call her Amma because Amma in Korean means mom. So I see her as like my second mom. And then there are so many other people that I can shout out to. I guess the next most prominent one I would say is Camilo Escalante. So he is my team lead, and he has helped me equally as much as Mom and Bernie have, and you know, he's kind of my rock whenever I need him there. So.
And hey, I'm going to give a shout out to all the mamas out there.
Yes.
Because none of us would be here if it wasn't for you.
Yes.
So,
Words of the wise.
right? I'm telling you. You know what? But I will say, mamas, make sure you don't stand at the back of the bus and not have enough fuel for yourself. Take care of yourself mentally, physically. Know you're good because you took care of the rest of us. So give yourself a little shout out too.
Huge shout out to the mom. Huge shout out to my mom. When I hear how much stuff moms do, you know, it makes me think like, how the hell do you do all that? I wish I could do all that. So shout out to the moms everywhere for being their best selves and you know, giving their family a blessed life every day. A shout out to my girlfriend Sarah. Shout out to my whole staff at the office, which makes it possible for me to be here breaking bread. So shout out to them. Shout out to Renee Costa from Full Bars Media. Stephen Caban, what's up? What's good? It's on going forward. Taking over the marketing game in 2019, if you know what I mean. You see what I'm saying? If it don't make green, it don't make sense. It's all good, baby. And then I guess that's really it, folks.
Shout out to Erie Cafe.
Yes,
Oh, yes, Erie
I was
Cafe.
just about to do that.
Cheers,
so
cheers.
Cheers to Erie Cafe. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for letting us break bread here today. Erie Cafe, we don't have to sell it anymore. If you're looking for fine Italian dining, good prices, good atmosphere,
Steak.
good service, great steak, come on over to the Erie Cafe in River North. We're blessed, and we hope you stay blessed too. Until the next episode, stay tuned for the next episode of Breaking Bread with Brian. Peace.
Cheers.
Peace out.